But let me start the recording to say welcome to TeamMADE International's National Wake Up Call, team call. This one's really fun. It was an idea we came up with, Kelly and I really. The speakers that we have tonight are TeamMADE's Leadership. And we get together every Monday afternoon at noon to talk about all things Beachbody, team, growth, pain points, disappointments, to, like Cynthia, I think it was just yesterday, was, just talking, having a really big win in her business. And Amanda Branco had a really big win in her business. And so just for us to celebrate each other as well. And it's a really, really fun group. And they say to surround yourself with people that motivate you and inspire you and you look up to. And that's exactly what I've done in this, Monday afternoon group. Really does a good job of keeping me grounded, reminding me how lucky I am to have the leadership and the people that I have in this business. And so what we thought it would be fun is to just have a Q&A. But it's like, some of you are pretty new coaches, and like, I'm going to use Tess. I just saw Tess's beautiful face cross my screen. She's pretty new, and so she probably doesn't know a lot of the leadership in Beachbody, in TeamMADE and in Beachbody. To get to hear from some of these veteran coaches, and we all come from way different walks of life. And so what we're going to do is we're going to introduce each other. So I get to start by introducing Miss Amanda Branco. And she's literally my baby. She's such a baby. But as I asked Mick, I'm like, how do I describe Amanda? And his words were, she's an old soul. Even though she's incredibly young and by far the youngest diamond I've ever had, she's one of the fastest coaches I've ever had achieve diamond. She's a 2-star diamond, and she got to celebrate today that one of her coaches is in 1-star qualification as well, Miss Lindsay. And so not only has she rose to the occasion to be a great leader to herself and push, we talk about this all the time. She's an amazing self-starter. She's the coach you're looking for. She came into this business on a mission and would do any and everything that I asked her to do. And as soon as she just started to catch some momentum, she took off, and I could barely keep up with her and how fast she grew. And it's really fun to see, because you can have somebody who's a little tiny baby like her, super young in this business, and crush it. And you can have someone old like me in this business and crush it too. So between her and I, we show that age is no boundary in this business. She's fun. She's super smart. She's incredibly driven. She's beautiful. And she also is a fellow podcaster with Cynthia, and a friend to many on this team. And it's been such a pleasure to work with her and have somebody. She's a very strong recruiter too. So as you're thinking of questions to ask some of these leaders, I will tell you that she's a strong recruiter. She does a really great job on her Instagram, and she pushes really hard to create her own little systems to have in place to make this business not so daunting, very duplicatable, obviously, because Lindsay's followed in her footsteps, and to definitely be a 5-star elite this year is, I know, her bare minimum goal. So Amanda, I'll let you take it away.
Well, hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Sweet. Okay. I feel like we should have made Melissa go last, because she just absolutely killed that introduction. So that's good. But regardless, tonight I'm also here to introduce somebody, which I'm super excited about. So I have the pleasure of introducing someone who is literally the definition of a coach who checks all of the boxes pretty much. Tracy is someone who joined a few months before me, and I looked up to her literally right from the day that I started running my business. I remember seeing her name popping up literally in every single group that I was in, and I was like, who the hell is this woman? And I need to beat everything that she's doing. But in all seriousness, I literally used her as my peace coach. And every single time that she stepped up her game and accomplished something. I knew that it was my time to step up my game as well. Tracy has hit Success Club for the past 22 months in her business straight, which she's only been running this business for 22 months. She's a 2-star diamond coach as well. She hit 1-star diamond in 56 days. Hashtag what? But more than that, she is someone extremely knowledgeable, extremely amazing. She's been a fitness professional for over 30 years. And she's extremely passionate about changing lives and truly one of the most incredible people that I've met through this business yet. She's the definition of confident, yet extremely humble. And I personally believe that a lot of her success is actually a result of how genuine she is. She cares about people and she finds literally exactly what they need in order to find success in their own journeys. And on top of all that, she's literally a machine. So if she's not working out, she's out for a run. And when she isn't out for a run, she's just straight up inspiring people to take action. And so I am extremely honored to introduce Tracy Fletes.
You're so very kind, Amanda. And so I have the pleasure of following that up. And I want to introduce one of my very good friends now, Amanda Dewey. Amanda Dewey was the very first leader that I met when I was in Beachbody, and I met her by going to my first Super Saturday. And at this Super Saturday, she was my guest speaker. And I just looked in awe at her. And I just thought she was wonderful. And the words that she instilled, that she spoke to everyone, spoke to me. And she didn't know this day, but I just knew that I wanted that. I wanted to go from this place to that place. So I followed her that day and I asked her questions upon questions. I asked her silly questions. I remember the silliest question was, I asked her, your name up there, what does CBC mean? And to now know that it's your business center. I had no idea. I knew nothing at all, but she spent time with me, and those little things that may not resonate with me, that she made time and she spent with me. And she has taught me over these last 22 months to be that coach I want to be. I want to be for myself. And she's taught that. She's been a coach for 10 years, so she has longevity. She's a 9-star diamond, 2-star and 1-star in Legacy Club. She's a 3-time elite, 1-time premier, and the accolades go on. But she also too is a wonderful wife and mother, 4 kids, 2 dogs. If you want to know anything about dogs, she runs social media for local animals, and has sheltered 56 dogs in the last 2 years. And I think she's a superhero to me, because still today, I can go to her for anything. I ask her anything, she makes time. And that resonates with me, because someone who's been doing this for 10 years and still is loving this business and has longevity and makes time for someone like me who's less than 2 years doing it, and showing me how to be that same superstar for my own team, and to know that all things are possible and how to stay in the game. So every single time I get a message from Amanda, or if I'm on a call with Amanda, I'm always going to show up, because she is that silent killer that all of a sudden on our calls, when she says something, you better listen. And so if she answers your questions tonight, you better listen, because she's going to give you lots of words of wisdom. So it's my pleasure to introduce Amanda Dewey.
Oh, thank you, Tracy. So sweet. It's so cool to hear, like, our little pod of, Melissa said that, this is our leadership group, but this has also become such a close-knit group of friends. And it's really cool to actually do this call with you guys and with them. So I have the pleasure of introducing the one and only twerk queen herself, Miss Cynthia. And I am so stoked to, you guys all know who she is, because she's Melissa's daughter-in-law. But I think that's one of the coolest things I could say about Cynthia, is that you could look at that as like, oh, that's such a benefit, what a perk. But I think it's also probably one of the most precarious positions any one person can be in. And I think Cynthia handles it with such grit and grace. And that to me speaks volumes about, and always has spoke volumes about, the person that she is. I remember when Melissa first told me about Cynthia, when Tanner and Cynthia had first started dating, and she was like, Cynthia just walked in the house, and I don't know, it was something funny about, I don't know if someone farted, or there was just something like typical that happens in like a normal household, and Cynthia was like, yeah, whatever, and just totally cool with everything, and confident. And I think Melissa kind of knew right then, like, we're in trouble, this girl's going to be around for a while. And it's that confidence and that comfort that Cynthia brings to any room she's in. If you've not had the pleasure of meeting her, you'll know, like, the second you walk in the room, she's going to make you feel seen, she's going to make you feel comfortable, and she's probably going to make you laugh. So she is a 3-star diamond, and in this business, which is totally bonkers, because that means, not only did a lot of people will get to 1-star maybe by helping their spouse or partner, hit diamond. But once you get past the point of 2-star, that means you've helped other people do it as well. And so Cynthia has accomplished that, which is totally cool. But another thing that I personally am blown away by is that her following on Instagram is over 13,000 people. I remember not that long ago I remember when she hit that 10,000 mark. It doesn't feel like that long ago. I want to say she and I probably hit 10,000 right around the same time. And meanwhile, mine is still shrinking and hers is growing organically. She did that all on her own with her own hard work and perseverance. She had a vision and a plan, and she does such a phenomenal job. If you're wondering about Instagram, follow this girl. You will have a good time. You'll fall in love with her and her family. I'm just so impressed by her composure when, really she is a younger coach. And it's just at Cynthia. Someone can type it in there. But anyways, so I am so happy to introduce you guys to Cynthia.
It's so nice. I'm so glad this is recorded, because after this is done, I'm going to make Tanner listen to all of those really nice things that you just said about me. So thank you. All right. So I get to introduce, arguably, cover your kids' ears, the baddest bitch I know. For real, like, you guys, hands down, she's a freak in the best way possible. She blows my mind. Like, literally, every time we get on our weekly call and we ask her how her week went, I'm always just like, same, totally. That is exactly how my week went. Like, she is a beast. You have no idea. So her name is Deanna, and I'm going to butcher your last name. Deanna Gaudette? Is there a fancy way to say it? I don't know. But she hasn't had a lot of support from her own upline in this business, and the fact that she didn't have that, but yet is a 5-star diamond in her first CBC, a 2-star diamond in her second CBC, a 1-star qualifying diamond in her third CBC, has hit Success Club all 63 months that she's been a coach. You guys, she just popped out a baby, 4 days ago, was it? 4 or 5 days ago, and got like 10 coaches. The day after she popped out a baby. The best way I can describe her, she's super casual, like most casual person I've ever met, y'all. Like, no, she is a hustler. She's a mama of 2 boys now. She works so freaking hard, and she loves it. Like, she genuinely loves this business. Every time that we talk on a weekly basis and we ask about, like, how was your week in business and stuff, like, she always is just like loving it and thriving and living in it. And she, I feel like, is the epitome of hard work, consistency, and truly finding joy in this business. Like, I love her. I will eat up anything she says, because she just blows my mind. She's amazing. So that is our new mama, Deanna.
Well, thank you. You're nuts. Anyway, I get to introduce Sherry Rankin, and I will just say that like I've never been like part of a team until Melissa invited me into the leadership chat. So I don't know like anyone's stats with this or anything because I'm not like officially I feel way down in the downline, let's just say, but have been welcomed in, and it's the best thing ever. But Sherry and I got to meet in Texas at, when was that? Last February, for the leadership retreat that Melissa put on. And that was the best thing ever because then I got to meet all of these girls, which was so cool. And Sherry has been coaching for almost 10 years, which is crazy to me. She has hit Success Club. She says she went by the back office, but she has hit Success Club 93 out of 94 months of coaching. That's huge. She is the epitome of consistency. If you follow her on social media, she leads with fitness and nutrition, and she is just bang on every single day. She is positive, inspiring, and I feel like I connected with her in Texas, like never met her before, but she's just so open and genuine, and she's kind of really pretty, but she is an awesome human being. And I'm so excited to be on the same team as her and being on these leadership chats every week. She never, ever, ever misses a Monday or a Friday when we had them on Friday before. So introducing Sherry Rankin.
Yay, thank you. That was super sweet, Deanna. Thank you so much. And I have the pleasure of introducing Lauren Fitzgerald, which many of you probably already know if I had to guess, because she is a former medical doctor, but she's not your medical doctor, right? She has so much knowledge though, not only regarding the business, but about health, and she truly loves helping people and wanting to help them before they get to the point where they would even need a doctor, which I love. Just going to her social media for education, and she just truly wants to help people and educate people, and she doesn't care about all the stats and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things I love about her is that, and I'm a little jealous of, is her confidence. Like, she's just unapologetically herself, and I feel like us as leaders, even amongst ourselves, like look up to her as a leader. And so the things that she does on social, the things that she does just in life. And we actually went to college together. We didn't know each other then, but we were like a year apart in college and went to the same college too. So that was kind of fun. But overall, just wanted to, we love Lauren. She has a huge heart. And that's probably the biggest compliment I can give to her, is she just loves helping people, and it shows.
Aw, shucks. Thanks, sister. Okay, the last and but not least is Melissa. And, you know, I mean, I could tell, because there's a lot of new coaches. And in fact, I invited, because I meet with my clients on Zoom Q&A 30 minutes before, and I invited them to come to this because I told them that all of us leaders were talking. And you don't necessarily need to be coached to get benefit from this talk that we're about to have. So I could tell you all of the accolades that Melissa has, because they're accolades that no one else in Beachbody history has. Doesn't even come close. There's a couple that kind of come close, but not really. But that actually, I don't give a shit about. The fact is that she has mentored me in a way that I didn't know I needed to be mentored. And it was all by leading by example. And every single month, I signed up as a coach in October of 2015. And every single month since, the whole concept of the speed of the pack is the speed of the leader. And I feel like I'm a pretty fast leader, but I don't even come close to Melissa. And the fact is that I believe that, you know, we can come up with trainings and we can come up with, you know, this and that and power hours and bullshit and whatever. But the fact is that, you know, she has led by example because she is always showing up. She is the hardest worker I've ever seen in Beachbody. And, you know, the fact is that if you put in 1/10 of the effort that this woman did, you'd be successful. And it kills her to see all of you that have all of this amazingness trapped inside of you that you're not even coming close to tapping into that even 10%. And so she really does have a heart to obviously help people get out of the bondage of obesity and chronic dieting and whatnot. But her passion to help you guys see your potential and actually do something with this freaking business is beyond anything that I think any of you will ever understand. So Melissa, we love you. That's your introduction. And now this is the awkward silence where we're waiting for our leader to do something. And she's like, where's the mute? Where's the unmute?
But technology.
I'm show my true self, my true side. We actually have one more, and I'm going to introduce Miss Janie Bodie, and I'm actually very excited to do that because I have to tell you guys a story about Janie. She was a Zumba instructor, and Lauren can attest to this. And I know we got some Zumba instructors on here, but you all are difficult. you're a little difficult in this business.
Amen. A freaking minute.
So Janie comes to, I mean, she's a professional businesswoman, and on top of that, she's also a Zumba instructor. And so she becomes a coach, and you have, so here I announced and I shared Amanda Branco, who pretty much came into this team, didn't need a whole lot from me, just kind of like, you know, give me a few things to do and I'm gonna go do them. And wow. And then I had Janie, and I specifically remember my brother and my sister-in-law at the house visiting me. And I'll never pass on getting on a call with a new coach if they need me, especially if they're trying to do all the things. And she's trying to do all the things. And we got on the phone, and I remember walking around my pool at my house, how many, I don't know, at least an hour. And finally, my brother and my sister-in-law just kind of looked at me and waved like, bye. I'm like, bye. And sometimes you just have a feeling about somebody. And I just could tell by the questions she was asking and the way that she was processing the way this business works in her head, that she was worth the time. And she absolutely was. And since then, she's just become a very strong leader. She is a genius in the mind. And not only that, but has that huge passion for helping other women feel good in their skin. And she's got, you know, her amazing accent. And I think out of all of us, she has one of the strongest brands and works very hard to put her brand on social media. And just like Tracy and Janie both are amazing at getting on lives. And probably that's one of the reasons why they are so successful, is because their ability to put my hair is not done, you know, I don't know if it's the right time of day, I don't know if my subject is good enough, that they just get on live and have people fall in love with them because they get to see them and talk to them. So I'm introducing Janie, but she doesn't get to talk. She can wave at you. But what I want to do now is for you guys to, if you would, you can put a generic question, and then one of the leaders can just go ahead and say, I'll take that question. Or if you have a specific question for a specific coach, any of us, any of the leaders, to feel free to write, you know, Cynthia, how do you twerk? My butt does not move that way. Cynthia will twerk for you. So let us know any questions that you have. And you guys know we are a family. We're an open book. Mick's here. If you have a question for Mick as well. No. He wanted so bad to be here. You're my support animal? Yeah. My emotional support animal. You have any questions, we're ready to take them. So please ask away.
I'll take the first question. How do you gain new followers? I have many people that follow me, but they're all my own friends. So you bring value. Every single post that you do, every single Insta story, every single video you do, you have a person in mind that content is helping them. You use hashtags. I will give a great example. Yesterday, I was looking at the hashtag no poo method, because I am trying to go without shampoo. Don't judge me. It is greasy. You don't want to feel it. It's all good. But that being said, I found a couple of great Instagram accounts and I ended up sharing it. And this Instagram account was super small and they just got shared by an Instagram account that has, I don't know, like 30,000. I mean, I'm not Melissa McAllister, but I've got a decent following. So you never know who you're going to find or who's going to find you, more importantly, by using hashtags. And you have to be smart with those hashtags. And you have to think, who is the person that I know that I can help and what are they looking for in the hashtag? But always, if you are just posting to be like, here's my morning mom crack, that does not benefit anyone. Every now and then you need to remind people that, yeah, you do drink Energize and yeah, you do drink Shakeology, but don't be that cookie cutter Beachbody coach that doesn't, like, you showing your shake doesn't help them. Now, you showing your shake and being like, so this has ashwagandha in it. Do any of you know what ashwagandha is? Well, let me talk about adaptogens. So all of a sudden you're taking a product that you believe in, but you're teaching them something and, oh, well, maybe I have that problem and maybe I should try that. If you're always thinking, how can I serve? You will grow your following. But you have to remember, you have to show up consistently every single day and you have got to stay consistent, because I built my large YouTube channel by consistently showing up and serving people without expecting anything in advance or anything in return. And it paid off big time.
All right, I'll take the next one. Facebook ads or Instagram ads. I wish Steve was on here, to be honest. Right now, I still think Facebook ads are more powerful than Instagram. At least they were the last time that I checked. So if you do want to invest in your business to run an ad, Facebook ads are the place to be for now, even though, you know, Instagram is such a great place for business. Facebook is still good for advertising. Facebook, because Instagram still has a lot of free features. And so you can still do a lot of things for free on Instagram, where Facebook is pretty much, you have to pay to play. So, and there's great opportunity. There's still hundreds of millions of people on Facebook. And I just want to say really quick, back in the day, it was almost like bad business to do ads for some people. They were like, you know, they always talk about organic, and what the hell? If you, I mean, this is where maybe Mick could chime in. If you do ads right, there's a way better rate of return than not doing ads. And what you're doing is finding people that otherwise wouldn't find you. It's not like you're cheating, but there's people out there that would be your best friend in this business, and you would grow together, but they don't know you exist and you don't know they exist. And ads connect you, because you're asking Facebook, hey, there's people out there just like me. Will you help me find them? And Facebook says, sure, but it's going to cost you. So if you can, you know, if you can afford to put money back into your business. Somebody told us the other day in the beginning, oh, it was Steve. Ironically, Steve Andrews was talking about how Steve, my marketing guy, got to diamond really, really quick in this business. Every penny he made in Beachbody, because he had a full-time job, let me put that out there, but every penny he made in Beachbody, he put back into ads, and he grew his business really fast for that. So it will grow your business faster. You may see it being worth the rate of return. And I do know that Steve himself is creating something for newer coaches to have a small investment to be able to run ads and to have a landing page for customers to go to. So it's kind of cool. So I'm sure I will have him share later on. But to answer the question, I think Facebook ads are best.
Can I add to that, Melissa? Yeah, I agree. There's so many people that I've actually heard that don't do ads. And from day one, I've done ads before and I still do them. I look at it this way. This is my business. If I had a brick and mortar building, which I did, I would have to pay to have ads to bring people inside of my store. So it's the same concept of spending this much money, the money I make, investing it back. There's more eyes to look on me. So, and Facebook really is, you're getting more viewership, I find, same thing, than on Instagram. But you're gonna have to think about it as your business, that you've got to invest, just like you did if you had a store. Everything you see, you have to invest to actually get the marketing for people to watch you.
I can definitely answer the next question, but I do want to piggyback off of what you two both just said. So I don't disagree with you because I actually have never run Facebook ads, so I can't say that one works better than the other. But I do want to just give you my experience with Instagram ads that I have run and what I actually did with them. I spoke to my team about this, and personally, it's really, really helped me recently. So I put an ad out there on Instagram, and rather than, I mean, I know that there are like obviously goals from them. Like some people, direct the Instagram ad to take you to the direct messages or whatever it might be. But what I did was I just kind of was like putting it out there to get likes on it. And then once the ad was over, I went through all those likes and actually used that as my market to interact and engage with my people. And it actually was a really, really huge success for me. And so what I told my team was typically, well, it's on the daily activity tracker, but in this business, what part of your job is to go out there and engage, initiate connections, and invite and do all of those things. And so what I did was I put the ad out there, paid for it essentially to save me time of having to go look for people. And then what I did was I just went through the people that were liking my stuff and engaged, started following them, invited them, things like that. It worked really, really well for me. It might not work for you, but that's just like something that I like to put out there because you're not always going to gain the traction that you want on Instagram with the ads. I just find that Instagram ads don't actually pick up the way that they're hopefully meant to unless you're putting a lot of money into them. So just think outside the box sometimes. Like you're getting likes on that post, then use those likes. Like they're liking your post for a reason, right? To answer the next question, which is, there's two people that have asked this. The reason I wanted to answer this was because I actually recently just spoke to Melissa about this. I took a lot of time over this quarantine to create a coach training. I created two things. I essentially created like a free look into coaching and a coach onboarding system for my team so that we could essentially be onboarding all of our coaches the same way. Do you need that in this business? No. I mean, Melissa introduced me and she said it herself. Like, there are people that will come into this business and just figure it out. And there are people that will come into this business and find every single excuse to not do the freaking work. And that's just the reality of the business, right? Like, you can put everything in front of them and they still might not do the work. You have to understand that. But, also coming into this business, I do remember doing the TeamMADE University training and being like, I'm going to do all of this and then launch my business. And at the end of the month, messaging Melissa and being like, WTF, I'm overwhelmed. So I think what's really important to remember is like simplifying the business is super important for your coaches. And if you feel like, you felt a little lost at the beginning and you want to give them some sort of structure, that's really, really great. But they also don't need you to invest 100,000 hours of your time into building a training, because the people that are going to build will do so without you actually feeding them everything, if that makes sense.
And I just want to add on to that too, is to keep it super simple, is think about what you did to get started and just take them through the same process that you did. And mostly it's focusing on themselves first and then helping them start to share that and have ideas. But just think about what you did to get started and share that with them, especially if you're a newer coach, that's fresh in your mind. A lot easier than when I signed up 9.5 years ago.
So someone asked, they're a second month, but they're struggling to invite. And without going into like specifics in what's going on in your life, my answer to that question is that you are choosing to let your fear weigh more than your why in this business. It's that simple. Inviting is not hard. You just ask someone if they want to do what you do. Do you want to work out with me? Do you want to drink a shake? Do you want to start a fitness business? It's literally that simple. So if that's scary to you, that's real. I'm sure there's probably still someone in this world that Melissa might even be scared to invite and just get a little bit nervous right before she asks. That's normal, but her why in this business is bigger than that still to this day. And you're not alone having to figure that out. 2 months into the business. I've been doing this for 10 years, and every month I have to figure out, why am I doing this? Why is getting up out of, whatever I'm doing and inviting or showing up to a call or whatever more important than my comfort of whatever it is I'm doing right now? So you just really need to either, have a real conversation with yourself, reach out to your coach, pick some PD that helps you work through that. My team is really loving Fear is my homeboy right now. So maybe if it's a fear thing, which I don't know that it is, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know you, Christy, but just talk to someone and get on some personal development, and then just do it.
The next question is about personal development, and I'm kind of going to give you an answer that you probably don't want, but personal development, I hate when people ask for recommendations, because the thing is, what I may need is not what you may need when it comes to personal development. That's why it's personal, because it depends on what you need to work on developing. So basically, whenever I'm struggling, I'm like, hey, Cynthia, what area are we struggling in this week? And that's the personal development that I pick. So if you are struggling with staying structured with your goals in your business, I think the 12-week year is a super great one. If you are struggling with like confidence and just belief in yourself, what is it called? How to Stop Feeling Like Shit. That's legit the name of the book. Super good. But like I said, it really just depends on what you feel you need. So maybe you could reach out to your coach and say like, hey, I'm struggling with mindset. I'm struggling with business, like belief in myself. I just go to Google and type in personal development books on mindset, personal development books on MLM, personal development books on whatever insert thing that you're struggling with. But just make sure that when you do personal development, you're not just reading Girl Wash Your Face because everybody loves that book, even though I did not like that book, I'm gonna be real. But even though, just don't read personal development that's just because everybody else is reading it. Make sure it makes sense for what you need and what you need to work on for yourself, okay?
Really fast, I want to share that, and I think Steve put it in the team page as well, Nicole. His team created a course on Facebook ads, and he gave us a great discount of, I think it's $30. And he 100% doesn't make any money. They actually, because they're smart, this course, which is actually worth way more than 30, but they're just using that $30 to run ads to sell their course to get people to actually use their service. So, hopefully you can invest $30. I will absolutely do a team call on Facebook ads, but it's so much better to have something like a course so you can go and you can pause and you kind of play with your computer and then come back, as opposed to having just a call that, is going to be at its own pace instead of you working at your pace. So just wanted to throw that out there.
To address Tessa's question, to not feeling overwhelmed and setting up systems and finding the flow. First of all, to not feel overwhelmed if it's just the beginning of your coaching career, which I think you said in the beginning, you only have 4 things you have to do. You only have 4. You have to work out, you have to drink a shake, you have to listen to 10 minutes of personal development or read 10 pages, one or the other, and then you need to spend, I don't even know what the business activity tracker says anymore. Invite 3 people, I think is still the number, like 3 people. Workout excluded, those 3 things can probably be done in less than 30 minutes. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're probably scrolling Facebook, scrolling Instagram, looking at what Cynthia's doing, looking at what Melissa's doing, comparing yourself to Deanna, then watching Lauren, maybe do a Shakeology tutorial, and then, oh shoot, she's twerking and you're over here, and all of a sudden 8 hours have gone by and you're overwhelmed. So you're not overwhelmed, you're probably just lacking discipline in the business. So you're just going to, as far as, and discipline is what's going to help you get your flow. Flow is an actual verb, like you're flowing, you have to actually do it. So you're just going to have to practice discipline, sit down with your activity tracker and do it. And over time, your flow as to like what you prefer and what works better for you. Some people love to do their PD first. Melanie Mitro is one who has to do a workout first. Everybody's different, but you don't know until you do, and you have to do in order to get there. So,
and can I add to that? The whole, like, everyone has an initial time where they feel the overwhelm word, but it is really all perspective. Because I remember having that moment. I was like 2 or 3 months in, feeling overwhelmed, and then I had to step back and remind myself, okay, you got through medical school, you're going to get through Beachbody coaching. You just can't learn everything all at once. And the fact is that you have control over one thing and one thing alone. You have control of your thoughts, which lead to your emotions, which lead to actions. So you got to change your thoughts so that the emotions are changed, right? So it's reverse engineering. And if you change your thoughts, instead of I feel overwhelmed, it's I have a lot to learn. I'm excited that what I'm going to learn tomorrow. It's a total different way that you can approach this business, because you're not going to learn everything in the first month or second month. And guess what? I've been doing it 4.5 years and I'm still learning something new every single day. So, it's just change.
I'm going to add to that. I know for me, when I started doing this business, I felt overwhelmed because of time. I felt like I just had so much stuff on my plate, and how do I squeeze in another item, right? And so what I ended up doing is trying to figure out, to tally down and see where is my free time going. So I started utilizing, even if it's 10 minutes, I'm waiting, I'm queued up on the grocery run, and I'm waiting for the cashier to check people out. I'm on my phone doing those follow-ups, as many as I can, and I would type as fast as possible. And then I say to myself, okay, I have a commute to go to work. Can I be listening to some of the training? Can I be messaging people back, right? I happen to be commuting to downtown in a train. So the overwhelm sometimes is because of time. So sit down and figure out, okay, from this time to this time, this is what I'm doing. What do I have left? For me, initially, what I did, honestly, I realized that I was watching a lot of TV. I would watch about an hour in the evening, and I said, forget it. I'm not gonna do TV. And I'm not recommending everybody to stop watching TV, but that's where I started plugging in this business. And then the weekend I said, okay, I go window shopping quite a bit. I can steal some time there. And I started doing that. So every time, I went to an extreme to where I bought a shower speaker because there was so much training that I needed to listen to. I said, okay, instead of just goofing around in the shower, I'm listening to some training, I'm doing my personal development, and I shower quickly, I get out of there. So overwhelm sometimes can be because you feel like you have so much stuff going. But if you sit down and kind of figure out, where is my 24-hour going, you'll find out that you may even have an hour, 2 hours to squeeze in this business if you're serious about it.
I'd like to add something to that, Jamie. Many of you actually, I've heard several coaches talk about sometimes how they have a plan B. If you decide to come into this coaching business, for me, this is it. There is no plan B. And I went all in, and I don't look backwards. My eyes are in front of me. I don't look backwards. What happened yesterday is absolutely gone. But when I decided to come in and I knew this is a business that I can be successful at and that I can build a business and I loved, then there is no plan B. So first and foremost, no matter what my day is going, no matter what is going on with me, I know I don't have a plan B where I'm bailing out. So you have to put your feet in the ground. You have to say, my non-negotiable is no matter what goes on, because we're all going to have good days and bad days. No matter what quota you don't reach, I'm not going to bail out and say the company's not working, it's not going. No, just pick your feet up and keep going. And the last thing is, give yourself some grace. We all are going to sometimes not going to reach something. We're all going to have somebody who's going to tell us no. We all going to have where we're continuously learning and we just don't know. But if you keep looking forward and having tunnel vision that no matter what, I'm going to be successful, then you're going to be successful.
Great. Okay, so the next one is Monica. She said that I have a hard time with content creation. What are some recommendations? Okay, so for me, my Instagram really, really sucked when I really, really worked hard on showing that I was a Beachbody coach. Because I'm not saying obviously it's not important to share the business, But I am a multifaceted person. I have a lot of other things going on in my life besides Beachbody. And honestly, if people want Beachbody, they can find it. Beachbody spends cheddar on marketing, right? They don't want Beachbody. They want somebody like them that has been able to get the results that they want. So somebody that they connect with. That's you. Shakeology is not going to connect you to somebody. You're going to connect you to somebody. So I want you to treat your social media like it's a house party. And instead of worrying, you're the host of this house party, right? And instead of worrying about who's coming in and out of your door, worry about taking excellent care of who is in your door. So in other words, everybody loves to try to like, how do I build my social media? How do I get more followers? But the question is, are you taking care of and engaging and interacting and entertaining the people that are already on your platform? Because guess what? If the parties pop in, people are going to text their friends and be like, yo, you got to come to this party. It's killer, right? So that's the same thing. You want to have essentially a referral-based social media. So grow organically because you're you. You show your life. You guys, I'm the weirdest person. Promise you, like if you think you're a weirdo, I promise I can out-weird you in like 5 seconds. And that is what people connect with me on. It's not Shakeology and it's not workouts. That comes like 5 or 6 messages later after we connect on the weird things that I have in my life, right? So be yourself. And if you say I'm scared to or whatever, personal development, y'all, you've got to do the personal development. You need to put yourself out there because fear is not keeping you safe. Like it tells you, it's keeping you small. And you need to be able to be willing to put yourself out there and grow and connect because the same people that are just like you, that are scared, are going to connect with you and see you outgrow that fear. And they're going to want what you have, that confidence, that love of life, that health and fitness, journey that you're on. So don't be afraid to share you. That's your brand. People get so worked up about like color schemes and branding. Y'all, just be you and all the other things will kind of flow into it. So don't forget to share your life. Like figure out what are 5 things that make you you. If you legit need a place to start with this, figure out what are 5 things that make you you outside of coaching. Obviously, we know we need to share coaching and challenge groups on social media, right? We know that because we're coaches. But what are the other 5 things, components in your life that make you you? And make sure that that's what you're sharing because that's what people are going to connect with. Pretty much everybody on my team is a dog mom. Almost every single person on my team is a dog mom because guess what? I'm a dog mom, right? Almost every single person on my team is a freaking weirdo because guess what? I'm a weirdo, so I bring the weirdos, okay? So you need to connect with your people, but that's not gonna happen if you're not being you on your social media.
I would also add, we always talk about wanting to provide value. So as you're growing as a coach and educating yourself in different areas, think of those types of things that you can share with your followers too, and let them know, educate them. So it's entertain, educate, and I forget the third E. But there are 3 E's that you can think of when you're posting. Someone's typing it probably. So
engage, educate.
Engagement. There you go. Thank you. See, teamwork. So think of ways you can provide value, and a lot of that comes from your personal development or just things that you learn along the way from being a coach. I'm so much more educated about so many things just from experiences that I've been through and helping other people find answers to things.
Melissa, I don't know if the next question, because I feel like we get a little lost here with all the messages because the chat's popping right now. But I feel like the next question is, crap, where'd it go? Alyssa's, unless I missed something. Oh, well, Danielle asked where the course, Steve's course, I'm assuming, is found. But I don't know how to answer that. So maybe you can answer it.
Team page.
Oh, there we go. But I did want to just talk about Alyssa's question really quickly. And I'm going to give you a little bit of tough love here, and hopefully it doesn't upset you or anyone else listening to this. But the reality is, like, that is just an excuse. And I don't mean that in a rude way at all. The reason I say that is because when I came into this, I came in with like my head held high, and I was like, oh my God, I know so many people that are going to love this. And so many people that support me and are totally going to join me. And oh my God, I brought none of them on because nobody wanted anything to do with this. Okay. And so the reason I wanted to talk about this is because 98% of my business is people I have never met, ever, ever, ever met. Okay. My mom is not in the business. My dad is not in the business. My dog is not, because apparently dogs are not allowed. My sister is in the business, but I mean, she kind of wanted it, but she also, we had an agreement. She was going to pay me. I sold my car to her and I said, I don't want your money. I want your money to go towards my business. So I put her into the business. You do not need to have people approve of what you do. You do not need to have somebody within your family in your business. You can build this on your own. Okay. Does the support help? Yes, of course it is, because I'm not going to lie, it's very, very annoying to hear people constantly questioning what you do sometimes. But if this is something that you genuinely see in your long-term future, then you need to just get over all of that. And you need to, sorry, just saying goodnight to my dad. Damn it, I was totally going too. And you just need to get over what people think, because at the end of the day, they don't pay your bills. And yes, having an extra, you know, like having a spouse underneath you, that's just another CBC essentially. That's extra income. So yeah, that would be super, super lovely. But get your ass to 2-star. Sorry if there are kids here, and you can open your own damn CBC. You don't need to have anybody approve of what you're doing. So sorry if that was a little blunt, but just sending y'all some love from here.
My husband is not in my downline. Just putting that out there. And I'm a 3-star. Husband is not my downline. I don't have a spouse account. None of that is family. It's my second CBC and 2 of my own coaches. You can do anything you put your little mind to. Personal development.
But can I also say, look, if you're going to do this and do this business, and you do have a spouse or you do have a mom or a dad that are on your dirt list, that, you know, I did not come up with that term, but it's brilliant. It's someone would buy dirt from you to support you. It is very wise, because I knew from the beginning that I was going to make a lot of money from coaching. So I built the business as if. And so Melissa told me, okay, you need to sign up 2 coaches, your spouse and your best friend, your spouse and your dad, your spouse and whomever. And I did it. And I was emerald in the first 24 hours because Melissa told me to do that, because Melissa has done what I plan on doing. And again, if you're planning on building a big business, then set up your systems as if you're going to have multiple CVCs. I didn't give her the proper introduction because I don't know how many F and CBCs she has. We lost track a while back. She's got a lot. But the fact is, if you set up your business day one as if you're going to have the 20 CBCs like Melissa does, then you're going to set yourself up for success. And so those of you that don't have a spouse, it's all good. But if you do have a spouse and you're like, I'm going to do this, don't give them the option to not sign up. That's just my spouse at the time is my ex-husband, and he was gracious enough to let me transfer my dad into that account. And of course my dad coaches, and I make a good extra income from that account that he keeps at Diamond every single week. And it would have been dumb for me to not sign up. So yeah, that's all. I'm off.
I'll add to that, Lauren. I did exactly that. I wanted to be successful. I wanted the roadmap to be successful. And that's how Melissa guided me. And I do have a husband, and my children are over 18. So I did just that because I said, oh, I saw it. My husband saw it, and we did it. And now 22 months into the business, we have 5 business centers that is reaping the rewards from that. And if you are a coach on here and you have like Lauren said, you have someone that they will bleed dirt for you, or they will sign up, or your husband ever, do it. You may not get it now. This is what Melissa told me, is you may not fully understand it now, but when you work it and you build it, I am seeing it now. I'm seeing it now, and it's wonderful. So if you want to be successful and you don't want to be 6, 7, 8 years in here, and you're going to fall off because you're not making money, That's the roadmap. You have to be all in. And if you can set up and have another business center and sign someone, do it, and do it right away. All of that volume does matter.
And I think, you know, oftentimes when you come into this, people are naturally going to be skeptical. But if you just put your head down and keep working, like, people do come around. I mean, like, to give you a very short version of my story, when I started this business, I was single, and I was like, you know, I had my little OCD plan. I was like, there's going to be no one that comes into my life until I'm like set in my business, so I'm not distracted and I don't have to hear anybody else chirping in my ear about what I'm doing. And, you know, my boyfriend came along. Obviously, we started dating. He had his like concerns about it. I was already a year into the business, and I was like, listen, I don't need any of this. Like, you can just stop. I don't care what you have to say. I'm doing this for me. And like, he did come around. I mean, he's in the business now, and it's kind of like what Tracy and Lauren both said. Like, I've got 3 business centers between the 2 of us now. And it does make a huge difference. But if there's anything that I can say to kind of like go off of my tough love and then what they said, it's just put your head down and do the work. Because if somebody is like not supportive, if they start seeing, and for men, it's usually the money. If they start seeing the money rolling in, they usually just shut up and they let you do what you need to do. So,
Amanda, it's the money and the body. They like to see the results.
No, but I want to add on to what Sabrina just said. You know, she said belief. It really comes down to belief. And, you know, I think that people like Melissa actually have it a lot harder than you guys think, because people just assume that it's easy for her. But this is why I posted that video yesterday in the team page, that if you haven't watched it, I don't know if I was supposed to share it because it's from a mastermind. But y'all, this chick was a Denny's freaking waitress. But 18 months later, she's a 10-star qualifying. I'm not 10-star qualifying. She made me realize, like, I need to step up my game. But you know what? The fact is, she doesn't look like Melissa. She doesn't have a huge following, but she's got a crazy hard work ethic, and she believes that this is her answer, because she doesn't want to go back to Denny's. So a lot of you have this safety net that's holding you back. But if your safety net was Denny's, how much harder would you work? Just saying. Not that there's anything wrong with Denny's. I'm just saying.
No, she was wonderful, Lauren. Everything, she was absolutely wonderful. I had my whole team. I said, you better listen to this, and I better hear a report. And we talked about it. And we listed different things that resonated with this. And one of the other things resonated, she's going to retire her husband by the end of this year. And she went all in, and she told her coaches from day one, if you're not ready to come into this team and go all in and go balls to the wall, you're on the wrong team. That hit me, because I need to go to the next level and be telling this with my team, because they're getting from the first job of what she's made of. And the last thing that also too is she got results. I can't remember if she lost 60 or 80 pounds, you know, and I'm not saying anyone, we're all beautiful, but you've got to be proof the product works if you want your business to grow. You've got to do the work. You have to get your workouts in. You have to be proof the products work. And let me piggy off that. If you're someone that is, you lose a little, you gain a little. You lose a little, you gain a little. You're going to lose people. So you're going to have to stay in the game and keep going.
So Amanda had kind of said about how she only has discount coaches and she wants to get working coaches. I find for me, whenever I'm only bringing on discount coaches, is because I'm not talking about the business publicly enough. If you want to attract business building coaches, you have got to talk about the business. You can't just talk about the health and the fitness and be like, why am I not bringing in business builders? You got to talk business. So make sure that just counteract with every post or story that if you guys are on stories on Instagram, y'all need to be on there like 9 years ago. But that is 98% of where my business comes from. It's not my posts on Instagram. It's my stories on Instagram. But for every transformation that you post about health and fitness, you also need to post a business one. And it doesn't always have to just be financial. If you don't feel like you're at your financial place yet, just share a small financial win. Were you able to fill up your gas tank this week? Were you able to pay for the groceries with your Beachbody money? Or how is your mindset? How is your mental health? Do you have a really great community that supports you? Like, share the wins in the business that aren't just financial, because you would be surprised at how many other things that people do need but can bring them into the business. So make sure that if you wanna bring in business coaches, you've got to talk about the business. So be confident in that and share that consistently.
I'm gonna, start with the child. I'm chiming in on this one since I haven't talked yet. But agree with you have to be talking about coaching. Like, all I talk about in my stories basically is coaching, because the only way I am going to live the life I want to live is by building a team. That is where 90% of my income comes from. Like, I had a baby last week and I made the most money in a week ever in 5 years. Like, it blew my freaking mind. And that's because I worked so hard for 5 years talking about the business, about the vision of where I was going from day one. It wasn't like I waited until I was a diamond coach to start talking about coaching, because no one outside of our little Beachbody bubble knows what a diamond coach is. I hosted sneak peeks from my very first month as a coach. I didn't wait for an upline to do that for me. It's just being the coach that you want, like, that you need in to make your dreams come true. Essentially, you need those people. But then when you are talking about coaching in your stories, it's more so for the people that are already in your life, like your challengers in your challenge group. So they know once they're in your challenge group, 2 to 3 weeks later, you can be like, hey, have you ever thought about what I'm doing? Because then they know everything about what you're doing, because they see your stories, they see you in the challenge group and how you are just a normal person cheering them on. Like, you don't have to be anything special or whatever, but really, like Cynthia said, it's about talking about coaching, all of it, and just like sharing like this team call, but not just like posting Zoom call, but like saying what this call means to you. Like, for me, it's 11 o'clock at night here. I'm freaking exhausted, but I'm here because this matters to me. So I put that out on social media because I don't want people coming to my team who aren't going to show up for these calls. So I put that on my social. That's my answer.
Terry, it's not a question, but it's a comment. I think that's how you say your name, Terry. I'm sorry if I butchered it, but it says, I just started and there's a lot I need to learn about how to start my biz. I need training videos. Some more tough love for you guys. You don't need anything, okay? You just need a why and you need a purpose. You don't need anything. And I'm going to tell you right now that you are very, 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 very fortunate to have an upline coach like Melissa, who has put anything in place at all, because that is not necessary. And Beachbody has done some training in their coach office, and some coaches don't do it at all. Okay, so you just need to put yourself out there. You need to just not care what people are going to think. You need to be okay with butchering your invites and butchering what you say to people and hearing no's. That's what you need to do. You do not need training videos. Everything in this business that you're going to get better at is only going to get easier and more comfortable for you if you just get comfortable with the uncomfortable, if that makes sense.
I use this example for my coaches all the time. I promise you, they totally know what's coming right now when they're all like, ugh. Okay, so when you were little, like, raise your hand if you rode a Schwinn bike. Did anybody else have the Schwinn bike? Like with the pink tassels and crap? Okay, follow me on this, all right? So when you learned how to ride a bike, did you pop open the Schwinn manual and read the entire manual front to back about how the whole entire gears, Deanna, put your hand down, how the whole entire gears work and all that kind of stuff? Everything. Did you read the manual on how the bike works? Or did you sit your booty on the bike, somebody pushed you and said, figure it out, pedal faster? That's how you're going to learn in this business. You don't learn by reading, you learn by doing. You've got to understand this is an action-based business. It's not a knowledge-based business. And that's the good news. It's not a knowledge-based business. You don't have to be a nutrition freak like Melissa to make this work. It's great, and that's super, like, that's her superpower, but it's not a knowledge-based business. It's an action-based business. So quit telling yourself you need to learn more. You're going to learn by doing. So get on your little Schwinn bike and start to pedal, and be okay with getting boo-boos. If you fall down, you're just going to get back up, and we just keep going. And then soon you're going to do that cool thing where, you know, like, you can ride it without holding onto the handlebars, and you feel super cool in 4th grade, you know, buzzing down your chute. That's going to be you and your business. So just keep hustling, ride your little bike. You'll figure it out. Promise.
I was checking that Erin Holt, hi Erin, I'm gonna talk about you. Erin Holt sent me a message because one of her friends had gotten a text or had seen the infomercial with Carl Deichler talking about text meaning you get Beachbody on demand for free or whatever. And she was confused by that because Erin's a newer coach. And I said, that's actually a really good thing if you're proactive about it, because Carl Deichler, our CEO, is doing that intentionally to bring awareness to what we have to offer. It is your job to get on your social media and let everybody and their brother know that you're a coach. So when they see that commercial or they hear it on the radio, who are they going to think of? They're going to think of you because you talk about coaching enough that they're familiar with the fact that, oh, this is that girl I follow on Instagram, or this is that girl I follow on Facebook. I'm going to reach out to her because maybe she could tell me more about Beachbody on Demand, or maybe she could get it to me for free. It's advertisement for you, and it also fills our lead pool, which those of you not getting Success Club are missing out ridiculously. It's literally free money, but it's your choice. The lead pool is drawn from things like that. So we need, and that's why Beachbody is so wildly successful, and why we're the only direct sales company where 75 to 80% of the product bought is still from a customer base. That's unreal because of the old infomercials, and Carl is still trying to find ways to put us out there in ways that are outside of just us going, hi, I'm a coach, you know, help, help me grow my business. He's doing that for you. So look at those kind of things, be grateful, and make sure everybody that follows you knows what you do. You don't have to advertise it in an icky way, but they need to know it's a part of who you are. And that way your name will stick when they see anything Beachbody or anything 21 Day Fix or anything Shift Shop or anything like that.
This is not a question. Can I say this, Melissa?
I was just going to let Kimberly know that Mick and I are working on it. Done.
Okay. This is not a question I see from anyone, but it kind of correlates that I don't know if any of you are, but if you're a coach, new coach, wherever you are, and if you're not running your own challenge groups or your own vibe groups, this is going to make you successful. It really will. I highly recommend from day one. I don't care if you have one person in there, or if it's, you know, just you and you get your husband in there, or just your very good friend. It's going to force you to come out of your comfort zone and to grow as a coach. And I know Melissa does allow, and what you can do is get in her group, but at the same time, run your own group, because it's going to give you wings to be able to grow. And so many times I see people that they actually just stay comfortable for too long, and you're missing out on money. You really are missing out on money, because your coaches and your challengers, they need to hear from you. They need to hear your thoughts, your training, and hear from you. And Beachbody does provide so much content for you to be able to have a group, and you can grow together with your challenges as well.
I see a question from Kelly about how much time a day you need to spend on your social media. And I think on your business in general, I don't know how far into coaching you are, but at the beginning, and I actually still work part-time at my engineering job now, at the beginning, I was just, you know, it's finding those little chunks of time in the day, and it probably added up to an hour, hour and a half, where, you know, I would post in the morning at my lunch hour, I would check in with people or make another post. And then when I got home from work, I would, you know, check in with my group and stuff on social media. So it was literally just those chunks of time out of your day. As you obviously grow more, you would spend more time on your business. But it really depends on kind of where you are, but there's no set time that's going to make you successful. If you're doing those vital behaviors and getting those done, that's what's going to make you successful. Just get those done.
Agreed. I think we got them all. We did good. Thank you guys for joining us. And I'm going to put all the leaders on the spot. You're welcome. And I want you in one sentence or less, could be a couple words, final thoughts, words of encouragement, tough love, whatever, to help send them on their way. Let's go in the same order.
This business to me is about mindset. In between these 2 years, you just have to tell yourself what you want out of the business. Once you figure out in here, nothing can stop you. Not the no's, not I'm tired, people are ignoring my messages. You have to set your mind on what you want and stick to it.
Thank you. Next.
Stop learning and start doing. That's all I got.
Amen.
I'll say if what you're doing is working, keep doing it. And if it's not, then try something different. Don't be afraid to try new things.
I'll say you are worthy of more, and there's no difference between us and you.
Dang, you're good.
Be coachable. You can sit here and ask all the questions on this call and tell us why our advice is wrong or why you're not going to take it. But just remember, you're asking for help. You've got to be coachable. There's a reason why people have created success in this business. And even if the answers aren't what you want to hear, I dare you to implement what you were taught tonight. And just remember, like, humble before anything, remain coachable.
The only way you're going to fail in this business is if you quit. Literally, that's it.
Worse, don't start.
Two things. Cool shit happens on the other side of fear, facing your fear. Like really cool shit, like stuff that you would never even imagine. Like Sean T is one of my closest friends. Could have never imagined that was gonna be when I leaned into fear. And secondly, guys, a lot of us need tough love. And sometimes being a coach for your clients and a coach to your coaches requires tough love. And just learn how to be the best leader you can and give yourself grace and realize that it's not about perfection, because that is not real. So this business will change your life if you let it. Lean into it, and literally it will blow your mind.
Fan-freaking-tastic. I just want to finish by asking you to level up. Every single one of you, even you leaders, every single one of you can do, I don't want to say do more, because I don't want you to think the word more means you're capable of more. You really are. All right now, 104 of you, even me, 105, are capable of more. You can do hard things. You can be great. You can be a multimillionaire. You can be at your goal weight. You can be so mentally strong that it intimidates other people. You can be whatever you want to be, but you have to level up. If you guys are not feeling successful in this, you have to take ownership. It's not a hard business. People need us. You have to lead by example. Put yourself out there. So much more than a sentence, but go out there and level up. Go be who you're meant to be. All right, you guys. I am probably one of my favorite calls ever. That was phenomenal. I appreciate you leaders, and I appreciate all you guys being on here. It was a good sized call. We will see you, might even be next week, maybe. All right.
Next week, remember?
What?
Joel Freeman is next week because it was supposed to be my team's week.
That's right. Yeah.
We'll let Joel take our week. It's all good.
Yep. All right, you guys, love you to pieces.
Mwah.
Thanks for being on. Have a good night.